All right, everyone. Hey guys, it's Kate here, and this is my Australian cattle dog, my blue heeler, known as Aries. So, for those of you that are unfamiliar with this breed, let me try to introduce them to you a little bit. So, this breed is not your standard puppy dog, okay? They are not dogs to get if you want a dog that lays around. This is not fair for me to show you him while he is resting, but if you check out some of the other video clips that I've posted, you'll see him in more active states of mind. So the Australian cattle dog, or ACD, they came about because in Australia in around the 1840s, a man named Thomas Hall had a bunch of cattle, and he needed a dog that could really herd thousands of cattle over long distances. And there weren't dogs that could do that. So he had been working with some of the, from Scotland, the sheepdogs, the Smithfields, and they were more for short distances, herding sheep short distances. So he got this idea because he liked the way the Australian dingoes behaved as far as like they were silent hunters, and he wanted a work dog that could work in silence and, could kind of just have a little different attributes than just the sheepdogs. And so he started breeding them until he got these really highly intelligent, super active, perfectly sized dogs with perfect temperament for herding cattle. Now, they say that there was a blend of a few other breeds in there. Dalmatian might have been added in, partly for the love of horses, because I guess Dalmatians are pretty brave and they'll run right under a carriage. They think that also may be partially why this breed has a propensity toward sometimes going deaf. They also have said that maybe some Kelpie was added in. There's also an idea that the bull terrier was added in, but bull terriers tended to be more aggressive and would kind of like latch on to cattle instead of nipping at them. So eventually it's believed that was bred back out of them. But in any case, so Thomas Hall created this amazing dog, and he called them Hall's Heelers. That's what everyone knew them as. And these dogs are still some of the most incredible animals. They are extremely attached. They're kind of a one-person dog. It doesn't mean that they aren't great with families, but you got to understand that they are going to be attached to you in a way you cannot imagine. Like, I will never take a shower alone again. I will never walk through my house into another room without him following me. They're pretty amazing dogs that way, but you really have to give this dog a ton of attention. They have very unique, very beautiful markings. You can find these dogs in either red or in blue. My dog is the blue heeler variety instead of the red heeler variety. One of the things that's kind of unique, and you can see in Aries' body as he lays down on his side, they have extremely large chests. They're very, very big chest cavity and pretty narrow in the hips. And the ratio of their hips to their chest cavity is really important, because that's one of the things that makes them able to like snap and move and twist on a dime. Also, these dogs are not very tall. So Aries will max out at about 20 inches tall. So they're low to the ground so they can avoid the kicks of cattle. And it's also, this blue color is pretty favored because it made them less visible to cattle. So they're able to kind of work in this unique incognito style. Now, because these dogs, oh, by the way, they're actually born white as puppies. And I just think that's kind of fun, because when I was selecting Aries, he was only 4 weeks old. Well, his color it was showing, but it wasn't all there yet. And so I could see the markings, and I knew that he would have a kind of a nice mask on him, which I really wanted. Their markings can be speckled. They can be kind of almost any blend that you can imagine, as far as, you see the tan, you see white, you see black, or in this case, kind of like that blue heeler. They do have a double coat. You notice that he's got kind of a scruff here that's tan, and his legs are tan. That's pretty common also. My heeler does not have a docked tail. Sometimes they will dock the tails on these. There is also another I guess you would call it like a related breed called the stumpy-tailed heeler, where they actually are born with much stumpier little tails. But then in the other breeds, they'll go ahead and sometimes dock them, and I didn't want his tail to be taken. The reason I chose a blue heeler is because I was raised with one for 19 years, and these are very long-lived dogs. Matilda was my other blue heeler throughout my entire childhood, and Matilda was the dog of my life. You know, she was more like a nursemaid and a babysitter. But the thing is, these dogs, they are cattle dogs. If you don't have cattle, they are going to herd something. That means I have to work with Aries really closely to make sure that he does not develop those nipping instincts and, you know, want to herd children. Now, as a kid, I was herded a lot by my Matilda. Matilda, I was like a cow until I was about 11 to her, so I was not able to pet her. She would nip me every time I tried until I turned 11, and then she realized I was a human. She was the best babysitter in the world. She wouldn't let us fight as kids. She'd, you know, get in between my brother and I and yap and tug us apart. She would not let us bathe. She did not like us in the bathtub. She would try to pull us out or try to drink the water down so that we wouldn't drown. These dogs are highly protective over their cows, you know. I remember getting pulled off of our bicycles. She would literally like take us down, you know, grab our pant legs and drop us and pull us over as we rode bikes by her. And that was like even when we were like 10. These dogs are strong. They're super, super muscular. Aries will get to be possibly as large as like 45 pounds, but they stay pretty much, you know, medium-sized dog. The females are like, 17 to 19 inches tall, and they get to be like 35 pounds. So Aries will go, you know, above that by about a 10-pound weight margin, and then his height is just 1 or 2 inches taller also. But these dogs are not for people that want an inside house dog. They are extremely smart and intelligent, and they want to be with you, but they have to have a job to do all the time. And like, he's exhausted right now because he's still a puppy, right? So he has short durations of extreme amount of exercise that he can do, and then he just crashes out. So he gets me up at 6, like on the dot every morning. We go outside and we go for a run. Then we come inside and we work on some training, and we do some, you know, I throw his ball back and forth and he's learning how to bring it back to me. And we've got a couple of house rules that he's learned really well now. And I'm not a dog trainer, okay? All I am is somebody who has had one of these dogs once upon a time and knows the breed really well, but they are not a breed that I would ever encourage anyone else to get unless you can devote at least, and I'm serious when I say this, at least 3 to 4 hours a day to exercising. So when Aries gets older, I don't have cattle, and I'm not living on a big farm anymore, but he and I will be extremely active together. And these dogs are better if you're like a runner. They're great running dogs because they need to herd and they need to run all the time. So he's still a baby, so we're not up to that level of activity yet, but he's going to basically be my personal trainer. But the other thing is, you can't have this dog and like leave it in a crate and think you're coming home after an 8-hour workday. These dogs, don't get one of these dogs. That is the cruelest thing to do it to. This dog is more like a person, and this person wants a job to do and they want to do it with you. So I knew that by taking him on, and I waited many, many years to be ready to have another blue heeler, because this is like a marriage, you know. They are one of the longest lived dogs out there. My Matilda, like I said, was 19. They say that the average is like 10 to 13 years old, but I think the Guinness Book of World Records has one listed as 25. And they will stay really healthy. They have very few health problems. It's usually deafness or blindness that gets them. And that is what happened to my Matilda. It's, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I could talk about these dogs forever because they're so amazing. At least in my family, they were, like I said, there was more like a family member. And so you have to understand these dogs have their own dignity, and they need a job to do, and they really listen to you, and they do not want to displease you. But of course, he has lots and lots of accidents in the house, and potty training is still kind of slow going, and we have lots to learn. And I make mistakes and he makes mistakes and we just figure it out. But you can tell he loves to be touched. And I try to touch him as much as possible, especially like, his ears. I want him to always be really, really comfortable. If I got to take him to the vet or something, I want him to be extremely, at ease with anything that I have to do to him. He's, I can roll him on his back. He doesn't mind. Well, he does when he's trying to sleep, but you can see there's not like an aggression thing. He's very, very sweet. But that's important to keep that comfort zone with them so that they, these dogs are kind of independent, not kind of, they're very independent, and they want to be treated with dignity. So like, for example, I don't actually let people pet him right now. He hasn't been trained out of his little nippy puppy phase yet. And I don't really like when people think they can walk up and just pet a dog. I think that oversteps boundaries, because that dog is its own little soul. And that dog belongs to the master that it lives with. And I think people should have to ask permission. And so I actually, as cute as he is, and I know everybody always wants to pet him, but he's also still, we're working through getting him his last dose of shots. So I got to be real careful with, what he can do and can't do as far as socialization goes. But I'm in this place where healers are not dogs that you just walk up and pet any more than I would let someone walk up and just randomly pet me. They are their own people. And it's not a doggy dog. It's not everybody's best friend. It's your like little worker, your little helper, and they are bonded to you, but they're not bonded to everybody else. And this is such a great dog for people that are independent souls. I'm a pretty independent person, and I believe in like respect and independence, and that's what I feel like this dog deserves too. I have a real connection to this breed and the way they are. I think it's like if everyone treated each other with as much respect as, what maybe we should hold for each other. I think maybe the world would be a better place. It's kind of asking permission and connecting. You really have to take time and connect with this dog, and we have very much bonded. He is he is mine. You can see I'm a little bit cut up, a little bit bitten up. Like I said, I don't allow anyone else to pet him right now because I'm still helping him get through his puppy phase of nipping, and there's some casualties. My arm's got a few little wounds here and there, but overall he's amazing. So like I said, I'm not a dog expert or anything like that. I simply am familiar with this breed, and even so, each dog is so uniquely different, and so there's some rules about what always works, but then you also got to factor in the fact that these dogs are more like their own people. And just as you don't necessarily parent every child the same, you don't necessarily parent each healer the same. So anyway, you guys, I'm sure plenty of people would disagree with me and lots of things that I do, but that's okay. You can raise your doggies and do things different, and all I can do is, kind of continue on and see what works for Aries and I, because he's definitely someone who lets me know. He's very communicative, and I see some techniques that I got right out of, puppy training books that don't work on him at all, and then other ones that are like, oh wow, this is marvelous. So every day I'm seeing new behaviors develop in him, and I'm seeing new pieces of his personality come out. And of course he goes through puppy phases where he doesn't want to do this one day, and then the next day he thinks it's awesome. So we've got lots and lots of interesting things for me to learn, even about my own baby. So yeah, that's what I've got to share with you guys today. I've done different video clips, and I haven't really put them out too much yet because, well, honestly, I spend so much time working with him and a lot less time, I may film video clips, but then I don't really have the time to edit them because I really want to make sure that I'm extremely present for him. So anyway, you guys, that's what the delay has been about. These are his first couple weeks with me, and our time to bond is so important to me. So anyway, you guys, I guess I'm busy living life and and getting to know my boy. But I will keep you guys posted on his behaviors as we continue to encounter all kinds of interesting interesting things about my Aries. All right, take care, everyone. Bye.